Yellow sands, blue seas, words can't express what you mean to me. For the essence of your beauty cannot be contained nor expressed in the language that's been created to deep like us. Cause the world knows who you are. Notice now where our eyes and take a shine. Allow the sisters of the divine take you on a journey to unlock the secrets and the mysteries hidden and lost inside of you. Here's your key to Nirvana. I wanna go home. 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 I wanna go to the motherland. I know it's been a long time and I wait now I finally understand. I'm ready to get out of this winter wonderland. I wanna drink to my past, see how my ancestors will stand. Tooling one of the greatest civilizations. See the source of this world's modernizations. Allow the cosmic energy you once had baptized me. Again, allow raw waters to wash away my negative perceptions. Picked up by every religious deception. Allow me to transcend new dimensions. Understand that this life is only a projection of what my soul needs so I can hit ascension. Get rid of every egotistical intention. But can you hear me calling? I'm asking for direction. I need to go home. Help me find my way home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Help me find my way home. I want to go home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Hi, Rosemary. Yes, this is actually my song.
There's no place like home.
Ooh.
There's no place like home. I want to go home. Yeah. I'm lit by my way home. I want to go home. Yeah.
Pause that. So hello to everyone in the live. Hello to everyone sending your love. And yes, that was actually my song that I released back in 2015, I think it was. And it's called Home to Eden. I played that song because it reminds me of my journey. It reminds me of the transition I've made over the last few years. And just in terms of my value for peace and my value for just, staying centered and staying true to my own divine power without the influence of anyone else around me. So this song really takes me back, and I think it's definitely in line and a perfect intro for what it is that I'm going to be talking about today, which I will be clearing up what it is that I posted on my channel yesterday in regards to some of the receipts that I had provided. Now, just a little bit of a disclaimer. I do not do mess and drama at all. That's not my style. The only reason why I'm addressing this publicly, sorry, the only reason why I'm addressing this publicly is because of the public slandering that has taken place, and also just to kind of clear up for those people who didn't really understand what it is that I posted yesterday. Some people did say it was hard to be able to fully understand what is it that was posted, where it was coming from, and so on and so forth. So I hope to be able to clear up some of your questions today. So if you do have any questions about anything, I'm open to just be honest about everything, because I'm not the one with anything to hide here. Hence why providing the whole narrative, by providing the receipts of the history and the timeline of everything. So yeah, I don't deal with negative energy. Even today, like, my energy is high right now. I've been doing singing. Whenever I deal with negative energy coming at me, I raise my vibration. Like, singing is my thing. And even though I'm still recovering from a bit of a chest infection at the moment, singing is something that I love to do, just to raise my vibration, and just music in general in itself. But yeah, like, that's what I do to keep myself grounded. And even in the midst of all of this craziness that has been happening, like, I've had some really profound, amazing moments by myself, just in breakthroughs and in the clarity and direction that I'm having going forward into 2020, going forward career-wise and things like that. And it's just exciting to be able to be going on this journey, but it's just really frustrating to be as you're going on a journey, as you're expanding, as you're growing, as you're building your brand, when people want to be able to do very irresponsible actions that can, if not dealt with effectively, can have quite drastic and negative effects on you and what it is that you're trying to do. So just to ensure that there is no even option for that to take place, I'm just going to be completely honest and straight on this video here. And you won't be hearing anything about me with regards to this, unless there's things that need to be provided, because there's a lot of people that are coming to me directly that is actually really, this is very concerning, and it's very disturbing, some of the information that I'm being exposed to at the moment. And people do not feel comfortable enough to be able to express that themselves, for fear of what is happening to me right now, in terms of the defamation, in terms of the discrediting, and in terms of just the ultimate negative energy in itself, the gangstalking that is taking place. For those that are aware of this situation, what's happening right now is not the first time that this has happened. This has been a pattern, if you can actually pay attention, for those that have been in Cypher. And I've just become the next fall girl, the next scapegoat for her self-destructive behavior. And I refuse to be that person, because I have my own stuff to be dealing with, and I refuse for someone to throw me under the bus for the just to neglect from them being able to deal with their own issues. Would it come up here? I have to catch live on the replay. No worries, my lovely. You can catch it back whenever you can. So the first thing is the receipts. Let me kind of explain some of, or in fact, let me kind of explain the history of what happened and why I'm even providing these receipts in itself, just so that it becomes a bit more clear. So I had joined this group back in 2017, I believe, or maybe the end of 2016. But I'd been a member of this group for a very long time. I'd been a major supporter and a major contributor in terms of support and in terms of engagement. And I had nothing bad to say. I was able to connect with some amazing people who I'm still connected with today. And I'm grateful to be connected with, because they can vouch for my own character and just how I naturally do things. And, you know, to some of the things that have been said, it doesn't match up at all. So I was in there, and it was part of a group that was centered around enlightenment and extraterrestrial type what's it called? Panoramic, whatever stuff that are whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't even say the word, but just things that are very obscure, things that are not often in the public eye, not often in the mainstream, and mainly kind of conspiracy theory based. Not to discredit everything that is said in the group, but that's essentially what it's about. And you know, I came into there with the hope that I would be able to connect with other like-minded people that were on a similar journey to myself. But my intentions for joining that group was to grow, not to, you know, feel like I'm literally being led more into my anxiety. And I felt like that's what was happening, which was why I pulled back from a lot of the engagement in a lot of the videos and stuff like that. I just pulled back sorry. I pulled back. So this whole group, it was based around sisterhood. It was based around, you know, building up sisters and just creating, you know, healthy relationships, learning how to understand each other. And the foundation of the group was to be able to share perspectives that were not necessarily, not everyone had to agree on the perspectives, but you know, it was a chance for us to be able to learn from different perspectives by, you know, us being able to share the different perspectives. So I found that I was from the 1st of June, which is where I provided, which is where I started the receipts from, and it shows the conversation that I had with Fleur. And basically what was happening is that my posts were starting to get muted. And I was really confused because that had never happened before. I'd never been muted for any posts before. And I used to share a lot of posts. And then, but I noticed as soon as I started to expand on my business and start really kind of, I'm into marketing. Like marketing is, I found a fascination for marketing over the last 2 years, but especially the last year in particular. So marketing is just something that I'm exploring and I'm experimenting. And, you know, anyone who knows me just knows that I'm the type of person who I love to be able to express myself. And being in a group where I thought this was the perfect place to be able to do that, that's what I did. And so I ended up putting a load of my quotes that and stuff that I would normally kind of write. I started writing them on graphic posts and started applying into pictures, but then putting my trademark on it, just to make sure that my stuff wasn't being taken, because this has been happening a lot. Like people will actually take my my work or my my intellectual property of whatever it is that I've written and not actually give me the credit for that, which is why I'm actually having a really high appreciation for credit for content creators. You know, as a content creator, it's not easy to, you know, develop content, research content, and, you know, put out things from your own perspective without trying to sound like you're trying to be anyone else. That can be a very difficult process in itself. So, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was doing that. So, lost my train of thought. So the sisterhood. Forgot the train of thought that I was on. So yeah, I started finding that my posts were being muted because of that, and I was really confused, because if that was the essence of the issue, then I would have hoped that she would have been able to come to me directly and say that this is actually what the issue is. I don't like this, and, you know, rather than just mute me, actually come to me directly and just say, you know, it's like, I don't like the way you're doing this. And I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, that wasn't my intention, but at least you could have understood my intentions in the process of whatever we was doing. Now, in the receipts, you can see, well, I thought that was smoothed over in the conversation. That was a misunderstanding that had been cleared up. And, you know, there was no bad blood. There was no beef. There was no nothing. And that is the last conversation I've had with her before I was blocked and deleted from the group and all other platforms. So I had no way of being able to go to her directly because she had blocked me. Now, after that, I found maybe like 3 weeks. No, so before this whole thing happened, like I wasn't really I was picking up some things that I was just like, wow, like I was just seeing some stuff, and the stuff was very, very sensitive. For those who know. But the stuff was very sensitive, and it's something that I wasn't able to. I didn't even want to accept it to begin with, because it's not something that just comes into your mind randomly like that. And I know whenever, with my intuition, whenever something comes in strong, like I have to believe it, because I literally feel that in myself. I am a seer. I do see. And so, I have to pay attention whenever I see these things, but I don't always take what I see and just run with it just for the sake of me just seeing this. I always sit with something, archive it, and allow myself to process what it is that I've seen, just to make sure that there's a level of maturity and wisdom that's being applied to that. Like discernment can easily turn into judgment, and I always try to ensure that I'm not leaning to judgment, but I'm allowing myself to just be authentic in whatever I'm receiving and not adding to it. Okay, so I saw that, and I noticed that after I saw that, afterwards she started acting funny, and I was like, wow, okay, is this connected to what I saw? And just things just started unraveling. But again, I left things, like minded my own business. And at the time, around this time, I was also in our sex group, which is how we made connections, and was able to be exposed to more people who was actually on a different journey. I felt like initially around that time, I'd just been like, okay, it looks like I've just outgrown the group. So I didn't have any bad blood again. Like I just allowed things to just flow exactly as it needed to be, without just having any type of attachments to what was happening. And so me and Osset's relationship was able to grow, and as you can see, was able to provide a platform in terms of when we was able to collaborate a few times. So that created that opportunity for us to be able to do that and create or have conversations that clearly was needed in the conversation, as there was a lot of people who was resonating with the videos, or with the video that we had created, or with the 2 videos that we had created. So let me go back a little bit to make sure I've got my flow. Just want to make sure I'm hitting everything and I'm not leaving anything out. So we're blocked. So then, okay, so after I was blocked and deleted, I remember, before I was blocked and deleted, I remember seeing a video that I didn't feel comfortable in being able to watch, because I literally, like, again, I'm very clairsentient. So whenever I approach certain things, I felt like I was being stabbed in my heart. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to leave that video alone. And then a few weeks later, apparently in this video, she mentioned me indirectly, where she mentioned that she deleted a Cypher member, and she was like, oh, timelines, just a timeline split. And but she made out in that video that even though this had happened, that this timeline is switching or splitting, that it's just the way it is. There's no bad blood in any of that. So a couple of weeks later, something said to me, like I literally did a reading, because I was just like, what the hell is going on with my situation? And I was led to actually watch the video. And in watching the video, I was very concerned. And this was something that I actually wanted to directly address her on, particularly because I felt that the video, even though there was a lot of valid points that were stated in the video, and a lot of people do need to be aware of, you know, charlatans that are coming into the community, telling people that they can read and do this and do that. But I felt that there was a lot of judgments, a lot of judgment that was attached to that situation, or to that video. You know, being able to say, oh, if you haven't got if you're you don't have a good relationship with your family and this like that, then that's an indication that, you know, you're toxic and stuff like that. And it's like, hold on, how many of us have healthy families where we come from the Black community? Let's not be, you know, fickle about these things. I just felt like a lot of it was coming from a place of judgment, and I wanted to be able to direct. So I was trying to find the right moment and how to. Those who know me know that I genuinely try to make sure that my intentions are understood in every time that I'm communicating things. So I was trying to figure out how is it that I would approach her in that conversation, or that situation. But then I found a few weeks later, when I did the live with Osset, literally 10 minutes after the live, I was sent a screenshot by Osset coming from Fleur to say that she deleted me in her out of her group a few weeks or months ago, and for soliciting in the group. And I've already cleared. If you go back to the video yesterday, you can clear up. There was no soliciting. It was a misunderstanding. And the GoFundMe that she's referring to is a GoFundMe that she asked to be set up. I didn't set that up. That wasn't even directly towards me. It was to help other mothers that was in our building. So that is a very, very, very cheap shot. Yeah, for her to be able to have sent or set that message whilst we were live, post all of this stuff that has gone down, and I have not retaliated to anything. I'm still confused to what the issue is, because she hasn't let me know. And, you know, even in her attempt to explain an issue, these are clearly lies that she's made to cover up. I don't know, maybe stuff that she hoped, but it's clearly not true, as you can see from the receipts. And that's very cheap, because that in itself was a deliberate attempt to try and sever a collaboration that a lot of people resonated with, and sever a relationship. For what purpose? For what? Your own personal grievances. Like, a lot of this stuff could have been dealt with offline, if people knew how to communicate effectively, but clearly not, because people are going online and speaking stuff that is very irresponsible and complete lies, as you can see. So some of the other, so that was the first attempt at blacklisting me. The video that she made the other day is her second attempt at blacklisting me. And I find it really confusing, because I was told to go and start my platform. I was encouraged to go and start my group. I was told everything's good, like, keep doing your thing. But we're here where she's literally trying to completely tear down my platform. For what purpose? I don't know. And then put me against another C-star to then say I'm jealous of her platform, when I'm just focused on growing my own. I have no one else in mind. In fact, I'm trying to build my platform to create opportunities for other people. So to be able to create these narratives and to not even be a good judge of character like that, and to be able to spew that type of stuff online to try and defame someone's character, I think that's extremely just disgusting, really. So now we've got to a point where I'm now being flooded with Cypher members who have also the other receipts that was on it was the dreams and visions and experiences, personal experiences that people were having, that is not being highlighted. You know what's funny? That it's only in the conscious community that someone could go online and say that all of the negativity and all the people that are speaking out against them are doing that because their filtering system is active, and never once question if they're the one who's in the wrong. Like, that in itself is extremely toxic. And to then say that I'm the reason why this negative energy is surrounding your event, that has nothing to do with me. And a lot of the people and stuff, like people seeing stuff, they were doing this from way before we even had this gripe. So this has nothing to do with me, and it's not fair for you to be able to make me a scapegoat for that. People are having very real dreams. People are being harassed in the dream state. And there needs to be a question that needs to be answered. Every time that these dreams have been presented in the group has been deflected with, oh, well, she's a lovely person and she'll never do that because she's mother-like. I think it's very relevant to have these things addressed. The people who went to the conference, I'm being told that there's women that have been made sick from going to your conference and having people doing light language, and women are getting sick from your conference. And then you're saying that people are creating, it's your filtering system that's doing this, but not taking any accountability for what is taking place. So I'm really confused, and all of the bad omens and the dreams and things that people were having, you cannot discredit everyone as if they're not seeing anything. And you don't even have the opportunity to even check how you've actually behaved in this whole process. At this point, I don't even want an apology. At this point, I just want you to be able to deal with your stuff for the benefit of yourself and for the benefit of the people that actually do resonate with you and actually still love you. Because even in all of this, there are people that actually still love you and hope that you will be able to come back to a place of balance. People are still hoping that, but that's down to you. And that's all at this moment. That's all I want to be able to see. So that basically clarifies as to why there's a massive witch hunt against me and my name and my platform. For what reason, I still like to know. And as I said, I'm not coming back and doing a back and forth video because my channel will not be a place of mess and drama. But what I will do is clear my name from any foolishness that people want to attach to me and just be in my own divine truth and my own divine self. What did I see? So some of you have already seen her live and told you already one of the things that I saw. Some of the other things I saw was actually the scene of that whole thing playing out. And what else? I don't want to go into too much because I'm not even trying. I'm just trying to let you know that things have been seen, things have been experienced, not just by myself. And the very fact that there's more people that are experiencing the same thing as me, and then you try to discredit me like I'm the crazy person, knowing the experience I've been through with people trying to discredit me, that's very dark in itself. Like, that's very dark. Like, basically trying to do the same thing that the mental health people try to do. Knowing that story, that's very dark. It was me and Susan. Yeah, see, Vanjie, you and Susan were the people who made that GoFundMe. It was me and Susan who, on our own will, started a GoFundMe for the mothers affected by the heat wave. Vanjie, I still think you two should have a conversation, even if it's just for closure. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Like, I'm not a dickhead. Like, I'm really not a dickhead, but I am very cold and detached to the situation because the lines that have been crossed have been that's been major red flags and major lines. Like when someone goes that hard to try and discredit you, you have to ask some questions just for starting a platform, you know? This fight seems like it's well in the yin realm, which itself is elusive. We're all still growing and learning as a collective, and we can't be perfect, or even if we pretend to. Exactly. This is my thing, and this is my mantra. You hear me saying this all the time. We can't be, we're not perfect, but I just expect us all to be authentic and honest about our imperfections. Like if we're all online trying to be, perfect and trying to show the most perfect versions of ourselves, and we ourselves are not aligning up to that, that dissonance is going to show. And this is something that I do not want to be in. Like, I don't want people to literally see one version of me online and then, you know, you see a completely different version of me in reality. Like, I don't want that. Like, this is even why in Scorpio season, I'm not even wearing any makeup. You see me as I am, just myself, raw, authentic, real, because I'm trying to learn how to really tap even deeper into that self without feeling like I have to put on a mask. So, you know, that's what it is. Cherish Pearl, I just got in. I don't understand what's happened. Can you please clarify? Cherish, I've literally got a receipts video where I provided receipts of the truth of what actually happened, because right now I'm literally being actively, or the attempt of blacklisting through the person named on this video. And basically there's a lot of people, there's literally a whole Me Too campaign coming out right now of people who are literally feeling like they are victim of this person named on this video. And no one is taking any accountability for it, and no one is even highlighting it in itself, because I know this is something that is widely known within the community, but no one seems to address it. And so in light of what's happened with me and the fact that I've literally just become the next scapegoat, I've taken it upon myself to highlight what it is that I've been noticing over the last year or so. And a lot of this came out of the blue, because I would have never believed that she would ever do something like this. But things are becoming revealed, you know, day by day. And this is the time for it. Layla P, I've had the same type of dreams, which intrigues me to get more info to try and understand. You see what I mean? Layla, I don't even know, I can't even count the amount of people that have contacted me in the last 48 hours alone. How? That have contacted me in the last 24 hours alone. This is stuff that I have not gone fishing for. Okay, so all of this narrative of me going around and calling people, there's only one person that I warned about that conference, and they know who they are, and they know why I did that. And I still have no regret for being able to do that, because if this is what it takes for everything to come out, then I'm good. I'm not the one who's afraid, you know? I'm not the one who blocked anyone and tried to run away from having a conversation. I've been wanting to have a conversation, but this has got too far. And I just think it's unfair for people to continue to sweep this under the carpet like this isn't an issue. The very fact that there's women from the conference who have got sick, the fact that you don't even have enough discernment to bring certain people into your environment, but you keep making a point that you are protecting people, and that you're making these shields and stuff like that. The very fact that you're even doing all of this in Halloween in New Orleans. I'm not even from America, but even I know not to be messing about in New Orleans on Halloween. Like, come on now. Like, and then to be bold enough to say everyone's protected, but then go out and say people were seeing demons and whatever and stuff like that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So my point is, just be honest about things. Like, people will actually resonate with people if you're just honest and you're not trying to do so hard to hide things. Just be honest. But I guess it's hard for some people to be able to do that, you know? And like I said, I'm not here to be doing any type of back and forth. I do want to make it clear again that the screenshot that was sent to me was from Offset. So that in itself just tears down the whole lie that she did, and just to question why. If you cannot tell a story straight and true, then can you even be trusted? That is just the honest truth. What is said about Offset not being able to go to the conference? She said someone was telling. That's something for Offset to be able to speak about herself. Lies about why Offset couldn't come when her little girl was turning 1. That's for Offset to be able to speak about herself. Like, what I will do is speak for myself and, you know, clear my own name and being able to provide factual information rather than opinions. That's why I did the whole video of receipts, because I wasn't trying to be doing any type of opinions or whatever. Like, after providing receipts, no one even needs to talk about it anymore, because at the end of the day, you can't lie from receipts. These are not fake receipts. And just to clarify, one of the receipts was from so one of the receipts was the long receipt, and that was Vanjie who's also in this live. She's the one who actually was very close with Fleur as well. And she's the one who actually directly called her out publicly on her platform. And the reason why she had to do this publicly, again, is because of the fear of what's happening to me, because in itself it states, I did this so that things cannot be misstrued or like publicly, because this is a pattern of what happens. And she was also the one who had dreams back from 2017. That's also included in the screenshot. And then some of the other receipts are actually people who wanted to remain anonymous, but they have sent me their perspective. Personally, I didn't resonate with the time traveler video, only because it's contacted heavily not to dabble, and only in rare instances do people from the future actually interact with us. Listen, time travel is dangerous. If you know anything about time and space continuum, what the frig are you doing time jumping? Like, please do not be going on doing things that you don't understand what's happening. Like, you know, there's consequences for that. There's serious consequences for going around time jumping and then taking other people time jumping without any understanding of what's actually going on. For the last couple months, every time a video came up, I would click on it and then be like, nah, I'm good. Listen, I've been like that for a while. And then what's even more concerning, and this is not a bashing video, listen, please, and this, what I'm about to say right now is not shade. This is actually genuine concern. If there's anyone on this video who actually knows Fleur directly, personally, I would ask you to just go and check on her, because something's not right. And my fear is that literally the last few videos has been almost indicative of like a mental breakdown. And this, please hear me when I say this, this is not to be malicious. This is just me being totally honest and being transparent of everything that I've even said behind the scenes. Trust me, I'm not trying to run away from nothing. There's nothing that I need to hide. But I'm genuinely concerned because it does seem like a breakdown that's taking place. So I would just ask that if there's anyone who does know her personally that is watching this video, just to check on her and just be accountable, or try to allow her to see that, you know, there are people who are there who do love her and just want her to be better. Vanjie, what's messed up, many members in Cypher feel same and are afraid to speak on it, but they talk to others behind her back. And I'm like, why don't y'all tell Fleur so she can see how serious this is? This is another thing. And you know what? I can't even lie. Like I said, I gotta be honest with it. I can't hold stuff inside of me. I just have to be completely honest. I have been side-eyeing a few people because, like, with the amount of people that do know and do feel the way that they do, I'm still waiting for them to speak out. It feels like a lot of people are trying to hide under the traps. I wasn't trying to hide. I was just waiting for her to say my name. Please be real about that. Like, I was just waiting for her to say my name so that I can actually publicly address things like the way that I needed to address things. And I didn't address it straight away. Trust me, it took a few days because I was vexed. I was vexed. And if I hadn't taken days out to do my own shadow work, trust me, this would have been a completely different narrative of how things would have been done. But I agree. Like, I challenge people to actually speak out, because if only this one here is actually speaking out, this. And you know what? I was actually supposed to do a video today called about narcissistic enablers. That is narcissistic enabling. If you enable someone that you know is doing wrong, yet you care for them, and you're just watching them literally self-destruct and destroy everyone else around them, you got to be accountable for that too. So I just challenge people to speak, and not to speak in a way where you're tearing people down. Just speaking the honest truth. This is a time where we just need to be completely honest about everything and just being authentic. I agree, Vanji. I think most people fear being shot down when someone establishes themselves. And you know what? I was fearful of that for a very long time. Which is why I purposely didn't say anything to anyone about this until the slander started. And in fact, what even validates this even more is the fact that the first person to come to me after I was deleted and blocked was Vanji, which is why I actually provided her screenshot of what she said, because I didn't tell anyone. Vanji came to me and was like, I knew that was going to happen. And this all happened, the reason of this beef, or whatever this is, because I ain't beefing, was just over my difference of opinion over the twin flames topic, which I initially in the group, we had a respectful conversation. It wasn't even on her thread. That's the deepest thing about it. And I even messaged the person's thread who it was on, and I said, do you have an issue with how I, engaged in that post? And they said no. They even said, I respectfully disagree. And I said, yeah, too. Like, it weren't no beef, it weren't no hype. It was just, again, people learning how to, people with different opinions learning how to have effective communication, and just learning that they can learn from each other's perspectives. Sheila, I didn't think it was a problem at first. I just thought I was transitioning into my next lesson. Exactly. Again, like I said at the beginning, I just said I thought I was just outgrowing, which I would have accepted. Like, sometimes you outgrow friendships, you outgrow jobs, you outgrow, desires or whatever. Sometimes you always outgrow. You always outgrow things. It shows your evolution and your expansion. So if you're not outgrowing something, it's not to say that everything you're meant to outgrow, that in itself becomes very toxic. If everything, it's like that girl in that meme that always comes up around New Year's, and she's always leaving behind something every, and it's always the same shit that she's leaving behind. Like, oh my gosh, sorry, this chest infection. Like, you're leaving around everything around you, but you realize that the toxicness is actually inside, not outside of you. Like, clear out that shit first. Vanji, Fleur is not naturally a bad person. The Fleur you see much of the time is really a beautiful person, but there's an entity attachment that's been attached to her since 2017, and it's causing problems. Facts. Period. Point blank. The amount of people that see her videos and say there's a dark energy attachment to her video, this is why I've not been able to watch any of her videos because I'm just like, I can't do that. It's not resonating. So yeah. I had no clue you were deleted. That shocked me big time. Yeah, girl, I was getting muted. Real life muted. Like, her posts, it was crazy. And it's funny because there was a few groups that was doing that around that time. This is why you don't really see me engaging in groups, especially spiritual groups. I'm out. I'm done with the spiritual community. When I did that video, I was honest. Like, I'm done. Like, the routes that I'm more trying to engage in is more business groups, entrepreneurship, like building your money, like all of that kind of. That's where my focus is right now, because all of this shit, this is what I'm not trying to be dealing with. Like, I'm trying to evolve here. I ain't trying to be dealing with that. Ranji, I'm a seer. I see a lot of stuff I wish not to see. And I was like, oh, damn, this is not good. And this is what I mean. That's exactly how I felt when I saw what I saw. And whew, like, it shocked me. Like, I vividly remember how I felt, because I was just like, what? Like, and I remember the words that she said to me in the astrals was, oh, I'm sorry. I said I'm not perfect. And that in itself was more confirmation, because that's something I know that she was saying. That's something she always says on the lives. And it was just like, wow, okay. But an element of that was remote viewing as well. Brenda, oh my God, this is confirmation. I couldn't subscribe to many things of Fleur that the Fleur shared. I knew something was off, and everything within me screamed not to listen. Listen, this is why all of my content says, pay attention to what you feel. Like, stop paying attention to what people say, because what people say and what is the reality of what it is that they're actually aligning to is not the same thing. Like, everyone's trying to find the best way to maintain their masks rather than just be completely honest and true. Like, I'm done with that. Like, I'm so done with that. I'm done with that too. I'm all about hair tutorials from now on. Yeah, I've actually had to go and start taking hair tutorials. Like, girl, I've been slacking since I became a mummy. I've been slacking hard. Like, I'm trying. Like, even this hair, I did this myself, but yo, it's hard out here. I'm trying to figure out how to love myself again, my makeup and stuff like that. And it's not to say makeup is whatever. Makeup is actually therapy for me. And this is another thing that she likes to do, is actually make out that people who wear makeup are lesser or have lower vibration, or or even people who want to be able to say if you have a weave, then you're low vibration because you haven't got your natural hair. Listen, me, I'm a creative. I'm an artist first. The song that you heard at the beginning of this video, that is my song. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I love to express myself creatively. I love colors. I've literally been a Skittles unicorn with all the amount of colors that I've had in my head. For those who are here, who know me personally, you know my journey. I've had color. I haven't had dye. This is the first time I haven't had dye in my hair since I was 12 years old. So, you know, I'm a very creative person. I love to be able to express myself. It's a way of therapy for me, in a sense of just, it's like an artist. Like, an artist is able to draw paintings. Like, why can't you do it on yourself? Like, what the hell? Like, who makes these rules? Like, this is what I mean. This is why I'm done with the conscious community, because we come up with a whole bag of bullshit that's just based on judgment. Like, and it creates boxes that don't allow us to be able to feel free. Like, we're still trying to, like, imagine if I took that and it's like, oh, basically to wear makeup, that means that you're a low vibrational being and you're not really conscious or whatever. Like, and I actually want to do that because it's something that I love to do. I'm suppressing myself because someone said this is what it means to be spiritual, when they ain't even spiritual themselves. Like, how sway. Like, let's just, I'm just doing a clear out right now. And like I said, I'm not afraid to be honest. I'm not afraid to like be truthful. I'm not afraid to provide factual information with receipts, especially if someone wants to be able to go that far to be able to discredit someone. So I would just say, if you are one of those people who are going through these things, as I've been hearing so much people say, oh, this is a confirmation, this is a confirmation, just know you're not going crazy, and just know that you've got a lot of people that you can actually connect with too, who can, you know, you share the same experiences. Like, this is very real, this is going on, and I'd like to see who else is going to actually you know, deal with the topic or deal with this situation effectively. That's what I'd like to know. But until then, I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't care what anyone else is doing, because at the end of the day, my focus is being able to build my own lane and yeah, keep it pushing. So I'm gonna jump off as I've got to prepare for my little man to come back. But yeah, I'll see you guys. Oh, actually, yeah, I have some content that I will be uploading. I'm just trying to recover from my Turkey experience and this UK miserable weather. It's been majorly cold. Wow, the moon is right there. Wow. Okay. But I have some stuff that's coming up. I know I'm not on schedule and stuff right now, but don't worry, I will be back. But I'll catch you guys on the other side.